When you go through divorce, you start to see both parties and how they deal with grief and how they deal with the struggles of what they're really feeling about the whole situation. Some people turn to alcohol, some people turn to another relationship, some people turn to gambling, some people turn to these things. And you start to see it, and it's like you have the choice to either let it make or break you. Some people turn to spending money. You have the choice to either letting that, whatever it is that you turn to, make or break you. I didn't really realize what had become idols in my life until we went through divorce. It's like, what do you really turn to when you are suffering and when you're feeling some kind of way? What do you grab hold to? Some things are healthy, like family. That's what that's there for. A new hobby. Those things are there to help you get the momentum back going, to keep yourself moving. But if you don't realize the things that are a detriment to your life, if you're reaching for that relationship that caused the divorce in the first place, if you're reaching for things that have numbed you in the past, when it's time for conflict resolution, you go to drinking or you go to smoking weed or you go to doing these things, then those things are idols in your life. And I had to check myself, like, okay, I want to be cool. Like, I want to be able to go to my friends and vent in this process and have all of that. But they can't help me in this season. Like, they can help me with certain things, but the internal portion of it all, when they're not there, when I'm laying up in my bed and I can't go to sleep, like, what is going to sustain me for real? And most of the things that we run to are either going to be detrimental to our health, to our mental health, to a lot of things. And we have to take a step back and look at those things and say, is this really making me the best person that I'm supposed to be? Am I learning the lesson that I'm supposed to learn here? And for me, that lesson was that God needs to be the ultimate person in your life. You need to depend on him. I'm not saying don't have wine, don't drink, don't have friends, don't go to the gym, don't do all of these things, but none of that stuff is going to sustain you through this. And I figured that out. It's all about spiritual and your internal posture that's going to really pull you out in a way that nobody can take away from you again. And I see so many people and they either let themselves go, they spiral from drinking too much, they go out and they continue to repeat the same cycles, having babies with different people. Like, it's just a never-ending cycle. Or they, do things to where it's like, who is this person? Like, I don't even recognize this person anymore because they let something take the place of where God was supposed to take the place. When you're in this position of divorce, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. There's a lot of reflecting that should be taking place. There should be nothing else in this space, because this was a covenant. This was a covenant that now has to be dismantled. And there's a reason why it had to be dismantled. There were some red flags that we missed. And now we got to look at this as a breeding ground, as a grounds, as a school. This should be a school right now. But at this point, this is about you. This is the time to be selfish, to figure out what is going on with you that you need to perfect and change, and let God do that, so that you don't repeat these cycles anymore. And that's just where I'm at in my journey. I'm tired of repeating the same thing. I've been with this person right out of high school, came here for college, and I met him. And now it's just like, I've never been single in my entire life. Outside of being a young child. And even then, I had a little boyfriend all the time. But in high school, as soon as I came out of high school, I had a boyfriend. My entire high school career, I had a boyfriend. And as soon as I broke up with him, got down here, met this person, it wasn't even months before I met this person and got into a serious relationship with him. And I had to start asking myself, why did I do that? So then I started getting into, these traumas of what I was dealing with in my family and my parents' divorce. I'm like, dang, I didn't even take a second to take a look at that. But you don't think about that because you're so quick to try to numb the pain of the last situation. You didn't take the time to look at what took place to get you here. So it's time out for all of that. And once you start doing the healing, you start having empathy for people and sometimes sympathy. You look at that person and you're just like, dang, I see why you did what you did. Because I'm looking at the way you were raised. I'm looking at the trauma that I know about, that you've told me about. I'm looking at the decisions that you've made that weren't the best, and now you beat yourself up. I look at the way that you were parented. All of that stuff makes a difference. And now I look at my ex not as a pity, but I see his decisions that he's made right now, and I'm just like, you're still running. You're still running, but once you start healing and you're on this journey to discovering yourself and healing yourself for real, and you're not having all of these other vices and things that you're using to cope, you start to look at the ex-spouse and be like, wow, that person's really still running. And you just want to pray that they eventually come to an understanding and an awareness of the fact that it's time for me to do the healing and stop running. That's really once you get to that point, you're in a place to where you can start to forgive. And that's really the most important thing right now for me, is to really forgive the other party for what happened, whatever. And they need to forgive you too, because they had their thought process of what this was supposed to be. And for whatever reason, this didn't turn out to be what they thought it was going to be. So they have to forgive you whether you believe it or not. And a lot of spouses, when you see them jump into other relationships, they're still holding unforgiveness. They're first running from themselves and everything else, and they are running to another person because this situation didn't turn. It's just a revolving door, and you gotta stop. Just stop where you at and let God deal with you in this moment, in this space. We can't have all of this other stuff in place of him. He wants to clean us up to where we can be able to sleep at night. He wants to clean us up to the place that we are peaceful, and we're able to be financially stable, that we're able to be sober, that we're able to be fit, that we're able to not overeat and overindulge, that we're able to be pure and not be having sex with all these different people, that we're able to be in the right covenant one day. He wants to do that, but we don't really be giving him the time to work on us for real. And unfortunately, we've done so much to where it's going to take a little extra work to unravel the stuff. But it is possible if you're intentional. And I'm in an uncomfortable state right now, but I am open to allowing God to do this and work within me the right way. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not even going to stunt. I still curse. I still have drinks from time to time. I still get that urge to want to be physical. I still desire a man and a man attention sometimes. Like, none of that that's a given. And once you get to a spiritual level of self-control, then all of that stuff, that comes with time. And I'm cool with that. I ain't on here trying to portray like I'm just whatever, what have you. But I will say that is my desire. And I think God sees our heart and knows that, God, I do want to not be fleshly like that. I do want to not, just be horny all the time, and I'm just being frank. Like, because sometimes that's a whole nother episode. Controlling the flesh after you've been used to having sex. Especially if you and your ex had a good sex life. That wasn't the issue. It was other stuff, and it was just other things around it. It's hard. That can be hard, and that's probably gonna be another episode for real. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and just be transparent about my journey when it comes to this, and actually desiring change in my heart. I don't want to keep doing the same things over and over again. I don't want a rebound relationship, because that's all it is. If I get in a relationship right now, I'm gonna bleed on somebody. And I'm gonna need somebody to help me do all of these things. And I can't need anybody to help me do that. I want God to help me with this. Because if God helps me with this, to clean this up, then man can't take it away from me again. And if it does happen to happen, because we all have free will, I know that I have a faith build up that I know God will get me through anything. And I believe that's what he wants to do in me, that build my faith up to where I can fully rely on him. But if I do fold again, if something does happen, I have a faith level that I've seen him do it before. I've seen him change things before. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm about to go run. So yeah, see y'all later.